I just finished this exciting interview with Alex Linnebrink. He's the CEO of Passage X, which really is giving some serious competition to those out there selling tickets and giving you a chance to do much better, cheaper, and really help people in a big way through blockchain. Join me for this interview with Alex Linnebrink of Passage X. It's really interesting to see what's happening with blockchain and all the different ways it's being used. One area that I'm pretty impressed with and what it's doing is in the area of ticket sales. Now, you know what it's like. You go out and you buy a ticket, and you don't want to have to pay $1 billion for going to this show. You're willing to pay a little bit, but also you think, hey, I can get a good deal on this one, so you try to get a good deal. Problem is, a lot of times people get what they think is a good deal. They've got what they think is the ticket. They go there to row 37 and seat J, and come to find out that 17 other people have the same seat. This is a real problem that exists in today's world, but there's a solution for it, and blockchain to the rescue again. There's a company I found out about just a little while ago called Passage X, and they are a company that helps you use blockchain so that you can eliminate that problem and be able to, well, just accomplish a lot of good. And to find out about that, I've got a real treat for you today. Joining me from his offices there in Detroit is Alex Linnebrink, and he is the CEO, co-founder of this company. And he joins us right there. Alex, good to have you with us today.
Hey, thank you for having me, Terry. It's a pleasure.
Well, it was good. You and I got a chance to meet over in Lisbon just a few days ago, where I heard you speak about, and I was just going, this is amazing to understand what it is. You've got a company, you're helping people in a legitimate way using blockchain, kind of in a real Reader's Digest capsule. Let us know, what is it that PassageX does and how it helps people that are attending events?
Yeah, absolutely. So Passage X is an open network that's powered by blockchain technology to make payments that are going on much lower on the fee side of things, absolutely fraud-free, 100% transparent, so you can see where any existing fees are going, and customizable so that some of those fees could actually be split off to support the artists and the venues and the event producers, the people that you're there to help. So by doing all this, we hope to make it something that really puts the power back in the fans and the hands of the fans and the artists there. Yep.
Yeah, I see what you're doing there is pretty amazing. Well, it seems like you're doing this with a lot of niche markets as well. Tell us about some of those markets you're serving and how that is making an impact in the marketplace.
Sure. So Passage is the parent company of Passage X. You know, we're the ones putting on this project here. We've been around since 2014, and we do go after specific branded event verticals. You know, so one of those that's the best example of that is actually haunted houses. We have a brand by the name of HauntPay that we are the largest provider of haunted house tickets in America. We have
haunted house tickets. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a blast. Obviously, we just got out of our heavy month for that in October there. We did over $10 million just of haunted house ticket sales.
$10 million. That's pretty good. That's some serious money back where I grew up in the country.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. We've got a few other branded verticals. We work with semi-pro soccer through a brand called Soccer Stub. Escape rooms, which is a new up-and-coming fad in events called...
Tell me about that. What is escape room?
Yeah, so an escape room is basically when you get locked in. You're not actually locked in, but the idea is you're locked in with a room with 7 other people, maybe friends, maybe not. And you have
We're hoping they're friends if you're locked in.
Usually it works better if it's friends, but it can be a good bonding experience all the way around. Good for corporate team building. You're basically there, and you have to solve clues and puzzles in order to get out. And you try to get out within the 60-minute time frame that they give you, or it might be different at some of them, but usually about 60 minutes. Usually themed something like maybe a Sherlock Holmes type theme, or an escape the museum heists type theme, or maybe an Indiana Jones type thing, just to keep it really creative and fun and have that storyline with it. They're a blast. 4 years ago, there were none in the U.S. Today, there are over 1,000 in the U.S. So that's pretty exciting growth there.
Yeah, this is interesting. Well, now, before we started the recording, you were showing me on your website that you've had a lot of success already. I was wondering, would it be possible for you to share your screen with us and go over to your website, show us some of the details and the numbers of what you're doing? I think this is pretty amazing. And while he's doing that, those of you watching this, think about this and the possibilities, how this eliminates a real hassle, a headache of wondering about getting your ticket. Is it going to work? And look at what they're doing here. Alex, tell us about those numbers and what they mean.
Yeah, absolutely, Terry. So on the screen right now, you see our PassageX network, and here you're seeing basically everything that we have actually stored and tracked on the blockchain to eliminate potential fraud, to make these available for secondary sales, to make it fully transparent what's going on here. So we can look through and see all of these tickets. This is in real time, 316,000 tickets that we have tracked on PassageX, on the PassageX network. Over $6.5 million in tickets sold. That's from our parent company, Passage, that we're already tracking these on the blockchain network here. But we do hope to get more and more other ticketing companies involved. We have a few smaller ones signed on, and we're working on a few larger ones as well. You can dive through. You can actually click into any of these tickets that have been sold here. And you can even check to see if they are still valid. So if I was to check this ticket that was just sold recently today, it is going to pull up that it was found. This ticket was found, and it is still valid. So imagine going to a scalper or going to a ticket line, someplace where you're thinking about buying a ticket secondhand, and then instead of just hoping that that ticket is going to be valid for the event, actually being able to check that. Maybe if it's even a scalper outside an event, you could even scan that with your phone or text that ticket ID to a number. That's a game changer versus just guessing and hoping that that ticket isn't going to be fraudulent.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, this is amazing what you're doing, because I can see, I've heard about some of the problems, some of the challenges that we have with the tickets, that sometimes you buy that, you think it's going to be there, but it's really not. But what we want to do is use blockchain, which helps us to do that and do it. So tell us a little bit, matter of fact, kind of come away from the screen for this here and tell us a little bit about the problems that I've alluded to. You know very acutely what happens when people will buy a ticket, it's not there. What is the situation on that right now in the industry?
Yeah, so there are a lot of problems that happen in this process. So number one, you're getting ridiculously high service fees. If you've gone through a ticket purchase recently, you're going to notice this. Sometimes 20, 30, 40% higher fees, higher price for the ticket when you finally get to that end of that checkout. At the least, this is frustrating. At the most, this is a game changer and actually preventing you from purchasing those tickets. That's not cool. So number two, high ticket fraud, rampant ticket fraud. So right now, most of these secondary networks that are out there, these secondhand sales places, you can probably think of a few right off that you'd go to list a ticket, are basically just selling copies of the ticket and aren't actually validating this ticket. So your ticket could be listed on 5 different markets and actually be sold 5 different times. And then it's just the first person that gets to the event that's able to get through the door. And then everybody else is denied because they actually have a copy of a ticket and didn't even know it. They've paid probably more than full price at this point. And number 3, another big problem that I think is on the list there is the issue that when you're paying all these fees, when you're buying these secondhand ticket sales, a lot of this money, none of this money is actually going to support the artist and the venue and the event producer, the people that you're there to support because they're putting on an amazing event. You want to let them continue putting these on. So yeah, these are the problems that we're really looking at solving, making sure, one, there's much lower fees. 2, those fees are transparent so you know where they're going. They're not just going to somebody that's not producing any value. 3, eliminating that ticket fraud. And 4, whenever possible, having some of those fees be able to be split out to the artists and venues and event producers that are putting on the event.
Yeah, it sounds like you're really solving a problem that's there and doing it in a good way using blockchain. Tell us why you're using blockchain and what it brings to the table and the benefits from that.
Absolutely. So when you look at blockchain technology at the very basic level, it is basically a secure digital way to transact and track asset flow. So you can throw any assets on there you like. You can basically call anything an asset that you want to call an asset. And then you can use blockchain technology to track that in a very secure and efficient manner. So a lot of people are using this for money right now. That's the killer app, right? Cryptocurrency is when you're actually using this for
Bitcoin and other coins like that.
Correct. Yep. But it doesn't have to be money as the asset there. It doesn't have to be these cryptocurrencies. It absolutely can be other things. We've seen people tracking real estate on there. We've seen people tracking art. We're just using it to track event tickets, which usually are in digital form anyways. So this makes a lot of sense. So that's number one, the security behind that there, because with blockchain technology, you have so many copies of that, it's impossible to fake. But the other side of that is transparency. You can let your customers look right into that, see where that ticket is flowing, see where that ticket has been, that it is still valid. You've got full transparency into that, even where those fees are flowing on those transactions. So those are all positives in the light of what we're working on right now.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you're watching this, think about this. First of all, it's a benefit to you as a consumer. You want to go to an event, you want to make sure that you can get a ticket at a good price, and you're supporting the artist, you're supporting the event, you're supporting the people that are putting it together for you, and you're making sure that it's real. This is the way to do it. It's just another example of blockchain and what's there. I encourage you to go over to PassageX.com, take a look at what they've got, and have some fun, enjoy life. Alex, before we let you go, any final words, any comments that you have on helping the person who's watching this, thinking about going to an event, but they're wondering, hey, I got to look into this PassageX a little bit more?
Well, we definitely hope you do look into it. Right now, if you were to head over there, you're not going to find any sales. It is a very new project that we're in the process of launching right now. But if you put in your email address, we'll let you know as this happens. And we're looking for help spreading the word. So we're looking for artists, for fans, for everybody related to that might get excited about this idea of bringing the power back to the fans and the artists rather than these mammoth, ticketing corporations that really aren't adding any value to the proposition. So if you get excited about that, sign up over at PassageX.com for some more info, and we'll keep feeding you that info on how you can help and when you can start taking advantage of this and actually purchasing tickets in a secure, fraud-free way that's actually going to support the people who are putting on the events.
I love it. The power to the people, letting digital currencies, digital capabilities there with blockchain take over and help power the people and the people that are doing it. Alex, thank you so much for joining us today. And for those of you that are here watching this, I want you to go take a look at it. Look at what they're doing at PassageX.com. Go to that website, take a look at it, and you'll see there's some amazing technology being used and ways that you can get involved with it. We'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment here below, however you're seeing this and wherever it is. We want to hear from you and get your feedback also. I'm Terry Brock with terrybrock.com for Business Journals. Thank you for being here today.